Hey guys, Mr. Short Hitter here.
You don't look like a short hitter to me.
Today is the final video of Wedge Week. So I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I hope you've got quite a few tips and drills and ideas on wedges that could definitely help your game. We're going to end it today with just an overview of wedges in general. So loft is going to be the angle of the club face as it relates to the ground. So this is a lob wedge, 58 degrees of loft. This is going to fly higher or launch higher than a pitching wedge. So a pitching wedge is going to launch lower and have a lot more carry than a lob wedge. 58 degrees here versus 44 degrees with the pitching wedge. Lob wedges loft are generally anywhere from 57 up until 64 degrees of loft. I've even seen a 70-degree lob wedge. Now personally, I don't really recommend going any more than say 58 degrees. I have a 58-degree wedge here in the CBX. I got my hand on this 65-degree XE1 wedge. 7 degrees of bounce. Look at that thing. 65 degrees. Now the lob wedge in general, I don't really hit it for full shots too often. I think it's a lot better on flop shots, shots you have to hit high and soft, but I really don't hit it full unless I absolutely have to get to a tuck pin, and I don't advise you to really hit it full unless you really have to. Now a sand wedge is generally anywhere from 53 to 57 degrees. Now they're designed for the sand. However, of course, we can use it anywhere. I would hit more full shots with my sand wedge. Very versatile club, and I do chip around the greens quite often with my 54-degree sand wedge. So a gap wedge is going to be generally somewhere between 47 and 53 degrees. You know, you do have some overlap in these clubs. If you play weaker lofted irons, then maybe your gap wedge is closer to a 52 or 53 degree wedge. Out of the wedges, my gap wedge is probably my favorite to hit a full shot with, but it's versatile. A lot of people hit chip shots, pitch shots around the green with it. So you can use it in quite a number of ways, and it fits the gap between your pitching wedge and your sand wedge. Now our pitching wedge, anywhere from 42 to 48 degrees of loft. It's gonna be very comfortable to hit a full shot with a pitching wedge, and a lot of people do hit shots around the green with it. Chip shots, can possibly even hit a little pitch shot if you have a longer shot and you have a lot of green to work with. I probably recommend, out of all the wedges, for a beginner to chip with a pitching wedge first. It's going to give you quite a bit of margin for error. You have a few different basic shots that you'll have to hit with wedges. Now generally, if I've got a lot of green to work with here, I would probably hit either my hybrid or a 7-iron, but we're talking about wedges. This is wedge week. So if I had to hit this long chip shot, I'm going to chip with a pitching wedge out of all my wedges. I'll play this back in my stance. Not a lot of wrist cock in this. I kind of set my wrist, play it back off my back foot, real narrow stance, weight left, and just kind of keep the weight there. So in a chip shot is where you want to just get the ball rolling on the green as fast as possible and let it roll into the hole or roll up to the hole, hopefully in the hole. On a pitch shot, you have a little bit more air time. You're going to fly it further, and then it's going to roll to the hole. So I can't just land this ball a few feet in front of me. I've got some rough to carry. So in that instance, I'm going to play it still from a fairly narrow stance. I'm going to play it a little further up in my stance. I like to choke down on all of these shots. Now we're going to carry that ball more and let it roll to the hole. So guys, the third shot you're going to hit is generally a flop shot. I've got my 58-degree CBX here. You know, I kind of play it a little old school way. I play it forward of my stance, open the face up, and I kind of swing across the ball to the left. And you see I keep these hands from turning over. It keeps that face open. We can create spin create speed, and hit the ball nice and high. The next shot you're going to need is a bunker shot. I'm kind of more in quicksand here, but to demonstrate, I'll say the main thing out of the bunker shot is one, you can use any club, but the sand wedge is designed for bunkers. If you have a real short bunker shot where you just have to carry it a short distance, you could use a lob wedge. If you have a longer bunker shot, you can use a gap wedge or a pitching wedge. I've used 8 irons out of bunkers. One, you got to hit behind the ball, and two, you have to have speed through the impact zone. If you decelerate, you're going to hit a bad shot. And if you hit behind the ball with some speed, you're generally going to hit a okay shot. That's an okay shot. This 54 here has 10 degrees of bounce. And bounce is the angle between the leading edge and the sole of the club. So this part is a little bit lower than the leading edge of the club. Generally, in firm conditions, you want a club with less bounce, and in soft conditions, you want a club with more bounce. Let's think about this logically. If I was hitting a shot off of concrete, I've got no give here. So if I was going to hit this shot and the leading edge is above the back edge, well, I have to hit that ball absolutely perfectly, or this bounce is going to make that leading edge go a little higher and skull the ball. Now, in most conditions, I would err towards having higher bounce for 90% of players. 90% of players are going to have more trouble hitting the ball a little fat. And if you hit a ball a little fat, having a little more bounce can help you. So generally a low bounce is better from flop shots off a tight fairway lie, or if you're a sweeper of your wedges. High bounce is better, soft conditions, fluffy lies around the green, or if you are steep into the ball. So guys, unfortunately, we don't get to play in the same conditions all the time. Pros don't play under the same conditions either. However, they have access to a tour van. They can get whatever they want done to their wedges or switch out wedges based on the playing conditions. Err towards a higher bounce, and if you're a person that likes more versatility, you don't hit many fat shots, maybe a mid bounce. Now, one thing you can do though is you can have your set up to give you that versatility all around by having a low bounce wedge or a mid bounce wedge and a high bounce wedge based on how you use the clubs. I'll give you a quick overview of grind. So this Cleveland Zip Core wedge is pretty much a full grind. The sole here is going to be relatively flat. There's a little bit on the trailing edge that's a little bit lower, but not a lot. This is a club that's really not designed to really open it up and close it and do a lot of different things with it. It's designed to be able to hit a lot of shots with a square club face. Not designed for versatility, it's more designed for forgiveness. The RTX Zip Core that I have, I got this in a mid grind. So with a mid grind, you're gonna have, if you see this red marker here, you're gonna have a lot of this whole entire edge is ground down. It's a lot lower, shaved down to give us a little bit of versatility when we're opening the face up, closing the face. So we can do a little bit more, a little easier with this, because if we open the face up or close the face, we don't add a lot of bounce to it. That CBX doesn't have that. So if you open the face, you're going to add bounce to it. Close the face, you're going to take bounce away from it. If I open the face up, it doesn't add very much bounce unless I open it significantly. To where the CBX, any amount of opening of that face is going to add a significant amount of bounce. So if this was a low grind wedge in the RTX, the black part of the marker here you see would also be ground down. So that would add even more versatility to where now if I open the face up, the toe, the leading edge, the heel, there's a lot of relief that's ground down to where I can open it and not add much bounce to it. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something from Wedge Week. If you did, drop it down in the comment section. Next week, I've got a couple vlogs coming. Did my review of sub 70. Those videos will be coming soon. Update of super speed. I also have an announcement coming that I'm not particularly happy about, and I want to share with you guys. If you got something out of Wedge Week or you learned something, drop it down in the comment section. If you have an idea for another video, drop that down in the comment section. And if you like the video, like, comment, subscribe. Until next time, Mr. Short Hitter, out.
5 holes to go, just play 13. Need a palm away, yeah. Gotta hit more greens.